Hey guys, welcome to the... Actually, one second. Fucking shit. The room is so messy. Okay. This is what you wanted, isn't it? If I didn't cosplay, someone would have asked why I did not. So, here's the Royal Guardswoman Gunlance. Pretty cool. I'll just set that here. Okay. I think that's good. See it. Alright. Fuck. Screw the headphones. Hey guys, welcome to the studio. So as per the title, I will be showing you guys Bagpipe's Royal Guardswoman Gunlance from her Epoch skin. Now, I gotta say, before we get started, this whole design of her skin and the Gunlance, it is like top tier. It is so cool. The outfit itself is amazing. Bagpipe, one of the best characters in my opinion. It's just overall amazing, like in terms of just overall design. Like this looks like a straight up weapon. Like there's this big spear thing, the gun, this little harpoon fucking shit, and these weird ass vents on the shielding. Overall, awesome design, totally S tier design. But yeah, without any further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into showing you guys the 3D model. Just in case you guys want to build this yourself, I'll try to put in the links in the description. I think my links are still broken. Fuck YouTube, but yeah. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and start getting into it. Oh god, I can't do this one-handed. And I don't want to drop this fucking shit. Alright, so first we have the stock right here, just the butt of the gun. This is stock 1. This is stock 2. It connects directly here. As you can see, it is the connection has a empty hole here for a wooden dowel rod to go through, just to add a ton of stability. I believe it is a 1 1/8 inch wooden dowel rod. Here is the handle. This is where a lot of your hands are going to be. Very sturdy. This is a support rod right here, printed at a fairly high infill, I would say roughly 50%, but it's mostly just to keep the alignment. Here is the shielding. As you can see, it's got this crazy ass shape. This thing took forever to model, and it connects right in through here at the bottom with this support rod. This is shielding A and B. They're pretty much identical, so there's only going to be one model. Just some little pieces on the bottom. This is the shielding center. It's just a separate piece that you can 3D print, paint, and then attach. Otherwise, these other little circles, you're going to have to just paint in post. Here's the cylinder frame. It's a really odd shape, but you know, just straightforward 3D printing. I would recommend 3D printing it with this side facing down, just so then you can get a lot more surface area. And this side, it's gonna be hidden either way. Here's the bullet. They're all identical, and they're slotted to fit right into these holes here. That way, you can print them in a red filament or a somewhat transparent filament, and then you can very easily remove them and then mimic the action of reloading and firing the Gunlance. This right here is the red connector. You're gonna want to 3D print this in a red filament. That way it can follow the color scheme on her Gunlance. This is RG Lance 1. Here's RG Lance 2, RG Lance 3, and here's RG Lance 4. And then we get into the rest of the Gunlance with RG Lance 5, RG Lance 6. Now, as you can see, this is going to be a very important step. You really don't want to get ahead of yourself here. This hole here and this hole here is sized for the same size of the wooden dowel. And if you're in the US and you're buying it, pretty much you just need to cut the wooden dowel like once, and then you can use the same cut. Like the what is required for this length here for the handle, the rest of it is sized to fit this one, so you only need to cut it once. And so when you're assembling it, this wooden handle, you're going to want it to attach RG Lance 1 and then RG Lance 2, and then put in the wooden handle. You're going to want to paint it beforehand, just so then it's a lot easier. And then you're going to want to slot in RG Lance 3. Now, before you slot in Lance 3, one thing that's very important for you to do is print out these R1, R2, and R3, as well as the mirror of those, which is just L1, L2, and L3. And as you can see, these components here, they have these holes. These are for, I believe they're for like 8mm wooden dowels, or whatever is the closest inch equivalent to that in terms of diameter. And then you're just going to want to slot those in, get those all attached. They're going to be attached directly to Lance 3, and then that way you have this Lance 3, and then these long side shieldings all attached in one piece as best you can. And then with this, and this piece here, you're just going to slot it in, and then it will, the ends of them will slot into this cylinder frame here. And it should not be a very tight fit. It should be relative. It should have some leeway in terms of how it's going to fit. And then for the rest of it, you're just going to use whatever adhesive you want to use. I would recommend using some epoxy resin for this. That way, it's a very strong connection. Hey guys, this is Chi while editing. So I just wanted to show you guys one thing I forgot to mention. There's this hole here in the gun lance right here, as well as some of the other pieces of the gun lance throughout this entire length. This hole is pretty much made to fit the same diameter of the wooden dowel. So if you really want to, and I highly recommend you do this, where you buy a second one, cut it to the proper length, slot it in, fit it in, push it all the way through. If you want to, you can go ahead and use an adhesive as well. And then that way it will make the entire length of the gun lance a lot sturdier. And it won't add all that much weight either. And another thing to note is that where this shielding almost touches the Lance 1, it's not directly connected in any way as far as like the model is concerned. However, right here in this crevice, it's very close. It almost touches. However, if you move the gun lance very slightly, or if you move the shielding very slightly, it will touch. And in this crevice with the gun lance upside down, you want to just like pour in or use a plunger syringe with some epoxy resin, and then that way it can seal it, it can connect it all into one piece and make it a lot stronger. Doing that will also seal in the wooden dowel that you put in here, because this is pretty much a window that like literally connects to that. Now moving on back to the front, this is Lance 4 exhaust. This attaches on top of Lance 4 in terms of the assembly. You're really gonna want to attach Lance 4 before Lance 4 exhaust, because as you can see, there's this aluminum rod, or you could use a really long wooden dowel. It needs to be pretty much exactly 80 millimeters, or no, 800 millimeters, aka 80 centimeters. That way it can extend all the way out and through here, and then you can add the same flanged coupler that I showcased in the her standard gun lance, and that way it can act as a stopping mechanism. Otherwise, if you really don't care for having the rifle muzzle move at all, then you should be able to just attach everything. There'll be a lot of friction involved, so it might not even be worth attempting to have the muzzle be able to move. But yeah, that aside, there's that, and then we're gonna move on to muzzle 1. This slots right into this opening here. It's not a very tight fit, so you just be able to use some adhesive. And then you're going to want to also include the same like thin wooden dowel to extend here, and then attach your muzzle to. That way it's a very strong connection. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the assembly. The Royal Guardswoman gun lance, the assembly is a little trickier than the standard gun lance. The 3D printing is quite a bit trickier, it's mostly with this shielding here, because it is a very large piece. You're going to need a very large 3D printer to print some of these pieces in one giant chunk. Alternatively, you can chop it up into pieces, but that really like lowers the quality as well as the overall strength of the 3D print. Other parts like this Lance 1, it's a very large piece. So yeah, you could always just chop it up using like mesh mixer or any other slicing software that you can use. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the 3D model. If you guys have any questions in terms of printing it or assembling it, just let me know. I know 3D modeling it and getting this prototype out there took quite a while. There was like a 3-week stretch where I pretty much had no updates or did anything. Life kind of just got in the way, and yeah, just dealing with my own stuff during that time. So yeah, I'm glad to be back. I probably won't have as much time to work on actual prototypes like 3D printing and assembling it myself, but I will be able to work on it a little bit in the following months. But alternatively, I'll still try to pump out some 3D models, some other future smaller projects out there if I can. Once again, if you guys like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. Alternatively, just go ahead and comment if you have any other questions or anything else you'd like to see from this channel. And see ya! Silly.